One high standard.
Good morning, everyone. I am Arun. I am your host for today. I welcome each and everyone for today, Sadgun Sang. This is our 237 virtual webinar, and our topic for today is Lingual Brain Speak, Think, Grow, the cognitive benefit of language, which shall be taken by Dr. Dipti Lakechaude, followed by question and answer session. Agenda for the Sadgun Sang meet. Virtual inauguration by Dr. Sundar Kataria, invoking the blessing of deity, chatting of Gayatri Mantra, introduction of speaker, presentation by Mr. Dipti Lakechaude, question and answer session, and closing session. Sadgun Sang, convened and led by Dr. Sundar Kataria, driven with a mission to elevate the quality, safety, and environmental awareness level of industries. Sadgunsang is a series of educative, informative events aiming to illuminate professionals on possible solution to current issues of industrial and economy. A brief introduction of Dr. Sundar Kataria, designation and organization, Chairman and Managing Director of International Certification Services Private Limited. His academic qualification, Mechanical Engineer, AMIE, 100, Doctorate, Business Management. His experience in nuclear RAPP, he started his career in building India's first nuclear power plant at Rawalbata, Kota, Rajasthan, Oil and Gases, EIL. He contributed in developing India's first oil and gas field at Mumbai, Bombay High since its inspection. DNV, he is head of industry and offshore development with DNV for 2 decades. ICS. He is the founder of first Indian conformative assessment and inspection body known as International Certification Services Private Limited, which is a provider of a total quality solution under single umbrella with wide spectrum of services. His achievement and awards, Lifetime Achievement Awards of NIS Corcon, received several national and international awards. I am requesting Dr. Sundar Kataria to virtually inaugurate the session. Please join us for Residents of Gayatri Mantra.
कुरुत्वं कल्याणम् आरोग्यं धनसम्पदः शुभं कुरुत्वं कल्याणम् आरोग्यं धनसम्पदः शत्रुबुद्धिविनाशाय दीपज्योतिर्नमोऽस्तु ते दीपज्योतिर्नमोऽस्तु ते शुभं कुरुत्वं कल्याणम् आरोग्यं धनसम्पदः शुभं कुरुत्वं कल्याणम् आरोग्यं धनसम्पदः
Please join us for the Resident of Gayatri Mantra. Introduction of the keynote speaker. Her designation and organization: Audit Certification Cell, International Certification Services, Mumbai, India. Her academic qualification: MSc Environmental Science, Mumbai University, PhD Chemical Science, School of Science, NMIMS, University of Post Doctorate, IIT Mumbai. Her experience and expertise: 2.5 year of industrial experience as environmental officer at Nittal India Aquatech Industry and Mahabal in Vero. 5 year of academic experience as an international professor at Somia University, Acharya Marathas College and KC Engineering, Mumbai University. Expertise in chemical science and environment. Her awards: DST WOSB Woman Scientist at Institute of Chemical Technologies, Matunga, Mumbai. Best Research Project at State Level, Avishkar, Mumbai University of Undergraduate. Welcome you, ma'am. Over to you, ma'am.
Good morning, everyone. Today, I will be talking about the bilingual brains, which means we can have learning more than one or two languages. So, speaking, thinking, and growing, that's becoming a cognitive benefit of having a bilingualism. To understand what is a cognitive development and what it means as a cognitive, let's understand the theory of cognitive development.
Piaget's theory argues that we have to conquer 4 stages of cognitive development. First, the sensory motor stage. Second, the pre-operational stage. Third, the concrete operational stage. And fourth, the formal operational stage. Only once we have gone through all the stages, at what age can vary, we are able to reach full human intelligence. 1. The sensory motor stage, ages birth to 2. In the sensory motor stage, we develop through experiences and movement our 5 senses. Our brain wants to see, hear, smell, taste and touch as much as possible. First, we start with simple reflexes, and soon after we develop our first habits. From 4 months old, we become aware of things beyond our own body, and then as we get older, we learn to do things intentionally. A key milestone is the development of working memory, or in Piaget terms, our realization of object permanence. Before that, our mum can show and then hide a teddy, and we would think it's gone. After, we understand that objects continue to exist even when we can't see them. We start becoming curious about everything. We want to smell flowers, taste food, listen to sounds, and talk to strangers. To explore more, we move. We learn to sit, crawl, stand, walk, and even to run. This increased physical mobility consequently leads to increased cognitive development. But we remain egocentric, meaning we can perceive the world only from our own point of view. 2. The pre-operational stage, ages 2 to 7. Our thinking is mainly categorized through symbolic functions and intuitive thoughts. We have lots of fantasies and believe objects are alive. As we are not able to apply specific cognitive operations, Piaget calls this stage pre-operational. We learn to speak and understand that words, images, and gestures are symbols for something else. When we draw our family, we are not concerned about drawing each person to scale, but rather with their symbolic meanings. We love to play pretend, which allows us to experience something new and learn a lot. At around age 4, most of us become very curious and ask many questions. We want to know everything. We can call it the birth of primitive reasoning. Piaget calls it the intuitive age, because while we realize that we have a vast amount of knowledge, we have no idea how we acquired it. Our thinking in this stage is still pretty egocentric. We think others see the world like we do, and still don't understand that they see it differently. 3. The concrete operational stage, ages 7 to 11. We finally discover logic, and we develop concrete cognitive operations, such as sorting objects in a certain order. One example of this is inductive reasoning, which means that if we see someone eating a cookie, we can draw a conclusion and then make a generalization. And we now get the concept of conservation. We understand that if we pour orange juice from a normal glass to a taller one, the amount stays the same. Our younger sister will pick the taller glass, thinking she gets more. By the same logic, we only now can understand that if 3 plus 5 equals 8, then 8 minus 3 must equal 5. Our brain learns to rearrange our thoughts, to classify and build concrete operational mental structures. For example, we now know that we can reverse an action by doing the opposite. Excited by our new mental abilities, we apply them in conversations, activities, when we learn to write, and in school. As a result, we get to know ourselves better. We begin to understand that our thoughts and feelings are unique and not necessarily those of others. That means that we learn to put ourselves in someone else's shoes. 4. The formal operational stage, age 12 plus. Once we become teenagers, we become formally operational. We now have the ability to think more rationally about abstract concepts and hypothetical events. Our advanced cognitive abilities allow us to understand abstract concepts such as success and failure, love and hate. We form a deeper understanding of our own identity and our morality. We now also think that we understand why people behave the way they behave, and as a result, can become more compassionate. Our brain can now do deductive reasoning, which means we can compare two statements and reach a logical generalization. Our new mental skills allow us to plan our life systematically and prioritize, and we can make assumptions about events that have no necessary relation to reality. We can now also philosophize and just think about thinking itself. Our new sense for our identity now also creates egocentric thoughts, and some start to see an imaginary audience watching them all the time. Piaget believed in lifelong learning, but insisted that the formal operational stage is the final stage of our cognitive development. Jean Piaget's first interests were animals, and he published his first scientific paper on albino sparrows in 1907 when he was just 11 years old. In 1920, he began working with standardized intelligence tests. He realized that younger children consistently make types of mistakes that older children do not. He concluded that they must think differently and spent the rest of his life studying the intellectual development of children.
So it was lots of science, in the simple activity that we think that we are doing, like thinking, having a memory, learning a language, speaking your mother tongue, speaking others' language, reasoning, problem solving, and mental abilities. It comes with years of experience that we have gained right from the day we are born. And that's what is cognitive development. So we can understand this cognitive development process during the childhood to the adolescence remains relatively stable. So that's where we think that we are going to explore the dimensions of cognitive development. Like when we say we are learning a language, we are developing the ability to communicate, to express ourselves, express our thoughts, what we feel, what we taste, and that's what is like we are developing in our language which we can communicate. Having a memory is like building a capacity to retain the information that we have learned in our childhood. This gives us an experience. So like when we touch a cold surface, we know that, ice is an object which is cold. So we do not feel like whether we should touch this or not. So immediately out of our experience, we come to know everything which is slightly icy, we can hold. Once we try to touch or some object which is hot in your childhood, when you did not have an experience, we see a child who goes and touches a hot thing, and the next time when he realizes that it is something which is boiling and I should not be touching it. So this is typical example where we have the memory playing its role in communicating and understanding. Similarly, thinking, it's an ability or a process of in which the information is assimilated information is converted into ideas. So because of these three communication skills that we get, we are able to have a reasoning, an analytical reasoning where we develop logics and we are able to make decisions, which becomes our skills in problem solving. Whenever we identify a challenge and we try to resolve it, we use this problem solving skills. So we have seen in the video that during the childhood and the adolescence, the cognitive development remains relatively stable, but it often is seen to decline with age, and it's a natural process. So cognitive development is across the lifespan. So we see that mostly in the very early childhood, we have the development of the cognitive progress. Later on, in the early or the middle adulthood, we have the stability, which is till our in 30s, and later as we age, the cognitive development begins to decline. Now, there are several factors which contribute to this cognitive decline. There may be biological factor, which is something which is out of our control, and that is the aging process. There are several environmental factors like the pollutions, and because of the pollutions, we get certain kind of diseases, or there is some kind of effect like which are very well known, the psychological effects. So the psychological, or we can say it accelerates the process where the psychological factors take over and we have mental health issues or the chronic traces like the dementia, Alzheimer's. So these are the reasons where the cognitive decline is major. But in today's life, we see that the lifestyle choices that we have are the major reasons or the major contributors to the cognitive decline. Those are like poor quality sleep, low physical activity, or the sedentary lifestyle, or we have the unhealthy, these are many other unhealthy lifestyles like prolonged exposure to the screen of the mobile. So these are few of the lifestyles which may accelerate the process of cognitive decline. So there is a mitigative process, and that mitigative process is what we are going to talk today is bilingualism. Bilingualism is learning new languages. As you saw in the childhood, we are trying to communicate. And when we try to communicate in our own mother tongue, which is a language of words. So when we have these words, we have to think about how to speak them, how to connect it, and how to connect it with our feelings. So when we do this, there is lots of neural changes that is happening in a brain. As a result, the gray matter area of the brain is which is most being activated. That's where is which is very, very good for a cognitive development. And thus, when even in our adolescence age or when the decline is very sharp of our cognitive development, is then we should actually think of relearning a new language so that it puts it back in the same loop where we started to communicate. Bilingualism is exactly that what we are speaking about. It enhances what is called as the cognitive reverse. It's like in this diagram, as it says, we are planting a seed again because it's like rewiring the neurons of the brains to improve executive functioning. It forces the gray matters of the brain to rewire and to reconnect, to understand, to put the words in a way so that we are able to communicate. It boosts our memory because of this thinking and logical analysis, which puts because of the grammatic and the vocabulary that we learn in the new languages, which is very well known as neuroplasticity. The neuroplasticity is very important for having a very good cognitive development. Thus, we delay what is called as the psychological effects that like dementia, Alzheimer's. You may have seen many old age people who are not able to express their or communicate what they want to say because of this loss of memory or what is also called as a communication gap. So to delay these issues, why not have a measure which will also be very helpful to us in our professional life and also will have our IQs increase not just in the form of IQ but EQ. So how does it does? The bilingualism helps in stimulating the brain regions. As I said, it's the gray matter which is important, and it also promotes what is called as the social engagement, because when we learn some different language, we are able to communicate with better communities to more communities and more people. So what we can say is learning a new language plays a significant role in mitigating the cognitive decline by enhancing brain's neuroplasticity, building cognitive reverse, and improving specific mental functions, which contribute to the way we think. As the saying says, the language shapes the way we think. So it's the foundation of professional growth as well. So how do we see it as a professional and a personal growth? So when we learn a new language, we are having something called as a global communication, which has been a new area that we are unlocking. So it becomes like you are having a key to enhance the understanding through collaborations across the borders. So that increases your chances of having a global communication. In a way, it is contributing to your personal growth. You also have the mental fitness or maintaining this cognitive well-being for optimal performance, because it puts stress on your gray matter to think and to analyze the things in a new way by rewiring your brain. So it increases your mental fitness. Then it gives opportunities to communicate to people who are unknown and strangers but of your same field. As a result, you have a career growth or opportunities, thus expanding your professional horizons and your skill sets. In overall, you unlock the personal development and confidence when we have the ways of communicating with different people, thus building your self-esteem and your capabilities. Apart from this professional help, you have the major cognitive benefits like enhancing brain's function. How it does it is by boosting the neuroplasticity. It improves the executive function, the attention required, the memory, the multitasking. These are all the skills that we saw in the theory of development. How the small kids have the curiosity, like where to use which word. So this is like we are putting the same puzzle, like we are solving a puzzle through the fitting of the correct patch into the diagram. So that's how it delays the onset of many mental health issues in the worldwide today. There are America and other countries are the major contributors where it seems that the with aging, the professionals who are once very in their peaks in their careers, but in their later ages have these issues of mental or psychological stress, which is leading to dementia and Alzheimer's. So it's a global problem, and definitely learning new languages can help in mitigating or delaying the onsets of this cognitive decline. So this is a research papers. There are many research papers which shows that having a bilingualism or developing and learning new skills every day can definitely enhance the multitasking ability, increase the creativity by fostering innovative thinking at it as it puts efforts in the logical and the analyzing part of your brain. It enhances the memory part, so you have the better retention of the memory being increased. This in turn gives the ability to tackle complex issues and thus helping us to problem solving and be a decision maker. Thus, there are core benefits of having bilingualism. So if you see the science behind this personal growth can be through the language learning as we develop. So this is a metaphor which has been shown in the presentation. So we have a person who is able to speak his mother tongue or the professional languages that we generally speak. Like in India, we have Hindi, Marathi, or we can say the regional language, and Hindi being the national language, and the world accepted language, that is English. So apart from this, if somebody is learning a new language, how does this help, or how we can say it is helping in a self-development and develop a cognitive benefit is, let us consider this metaphor. In this metaphor, what we see is a person knowing one language is like a caterpillar who has a potential, can build its capability through study of grammar and languages. So you have the language acquisition, which is the cocoon form. So the first part, that is the stage one, is the narrow cognitive framework, that is limited exposure to the diverse linguistic structure. Or we can say it is a rigid thinking which is seen in the monolingual individuals. And as a result of which, what we have is the normal declining in the cognitive development. So this limited exposures can lead to not that better way of expressing the ideas, or the problem solving skills are not that enhanced. But in the later stage that we see is language acquisition. So it's a stage where there is active engagement in learning a new language. So we can have a cognitive impact of enhanced memory, because we have to remember the vocabulary, that is the new words. So vocabulary is a set of new words that we learn. As a result, we have the memory part which has been more impacted. So this improves the executive function in the brain by switching between the languages, activates the frontal cortex, boosting attention, control, and thinking. As a result, for the neuroplasticity, new neural connections from the brain adapts linguistic rules. So that's the second phase which explains when we are learning a new language. Then coming to the third part in the journey from a caterpillar to the butterfly, it's the cultural immersion. So when we talk of cultural immersions, like we connect with the native speakers. So you are someone from outside and now you are exposed to the cultural context, the idioms, the social nuisance of the languages that is being used. So what cognitive impacts it can have is you have the cognitive flexibility. You understand what are their cultures, what are their metaphors, what are their humors, and you start adapting your thinking pattern and styles to it. So this leads to more empathy development, which is like gaining insights into another's culture. When we understand other's culture, we foster this theory in our mind and we have now developed the ability to better understand others' perspective, which is very important and which we also saw in the theory of cognitive development, like putting your feet in other shoes and trying to observe. So like when we have this journey from the monolingual to the self-development individual, which is like a butterfly, it's like we are reversing the cognitive development process and thus becoming younger and younger in the brain. In the fourth stage, which is the cognitive growth phase, that is enhanced problem solving skills, here the advanced bilingualism with fluency and automaticity can have impacts on the cognitive way of problem solving. Like bilingual often outperforms to the monolinguals in every task required because it's like a lateral thinking. We have the pieces of puzzles and now we also know the part of the puzzles which earlier were new to us. So this reduces what is called as the cognitive biasm. Biasism means exposure to multi languages can reduce your confirmation bias by encouraging questioning and assumptions. So we earlier can have assumptions that probably this is not a good practice, but it is somebody's culture. So now we understand that, we understand their language, we have developed empathy. As a result, now what can happen is we have their perspective. So that perspective will definitely helps us in rooting out what is called as the assumptions that we build unnecessarily and blocking our decision making capabilities. So this delays the cognitive decline further, as regular language switching may delay the age-related cognitive declines, as we have already seen in the theory, and there are lots of research papers supporting this. Finally, we have a butterfly emerging out of the cocoon from a caterpillar, which is a self-developed individual. And yes, this is a person who is fully realized of his cognitive profile with enriched self-awareness and a global perspective person. So this is a person who is having a holistic thinking. He has integrated multiple linguistic and cultural framework and thus leads to system level thinking and not just a person centric thinking. So that is the metaphor being explained in this slide of language learning from self-development. Coming to our next slide, as we said, it's not just the IQ which is gained from having from learning more languages or different languages, but yes, it is the emotional and psychological growth. As we said, the empathy, the awareness, and there are certain research papers which have seen that people who have got bilingual skills have increased empathy and perspective taking. That encourages self-awareness and identity exploration. So we have, building resilience through trials and errors. When we have the challenges, so we do lots of trials and we do errors, and from that we now build a strength to overcome these challenges. Thus, in a true sense, language shapes how we see ourselves, but also others. So now we have something called as the path to personal growth, which has been opened. So we have this bilingualism advantages, and these advantages are, those professionals who have got ability to speak two or more languages are the people who can embrace the journey that they gain because they gain, the edge in the fields. Like you have the diplomacy because you understand the regional cultures. So now you are thinking about the system and not just the people. So that is how the diplomacy thinking is enhanced. Then you have the education, which has been increased, or the learning ability is increased. You have better health care because you pay attention, your logic is developed, your brain is more alert, your thinking and reasoning abilities have increased, and thus you can now attract what is called as the international markets. You are open to the international business. So in a true sense, we have the full potential which is been achieving one's maximum capabilities is possible. How? Because we now have beliefs and attitudes being shaped from this behavior, which is called as the mindset. Having a mindset which has got wider beliefs and attitudes which are developed for thinking of a system rather than people. It's not people, it's not just own centric, but people centric. So as a result of this, what can happen is the person is becoming motivated to drive and desire more achievements. Through his more achievements, he's able to one gain, then second gain, and then the motivation is called as a self motivation. He's a person with self motivation, and this is because of the emotional intelligence that he has gained, because of the understanding and managing of the emotions, not just of yours but of others. When we understand others emotions and we have empathy for others, we definitely have something called as the emotional intelligence. Thus, a personal improvement is seen in enhancing skills and quality of growth. So you have an individual which is coming from a good mindset to a person who is having his full potentials. That's the path of personal growth. And this whole has come by enhancing the social and cultural development, because the social and cultural development is the one aspect which has been touched when you learn more than one language. You are open to the wider horizons where you communicate with people not just who are known to you but to people who are strangers. So as the horizons broaden, you have openness in the mind. So you have ethnocentrism which has been reduced, and the intercultural communication is the one which enhances the better understanding of global perspectives and values. So, encouraging the acceptance of diverse areas is the openness of the mind, as we said, the development of the mindset. Reducing the ethnocentrism is through minimizing the cultural biases, because we now understand the different cultures through the communication of their language. This intracultural communication improves the interaction across the globes of different or varied cultures, giving or adding the values by enhancing the appreciation in the diversity of various cultural values. Thus, it's a global perspective where the broader understanding of the global issues is what is being addressed. This helps in career advancing. How? Enhancing career prospects with skilled languages is like you have 90% of the US employers seeking bilingual employees. So if you go and check in on the LinkedIn, they always say somebody who has known German. When I was working in a company, we had our managing director coming and running to us and asking us, does anyone know German? Does anyone, can somebody just, we have a patent and this patent is having certain words and terminologies. So definitely you stand out different in the crowd in your own organization when you are able to understand some other language other than the local ones which we speak. So that's how you have the opening of the doors for international networking, increasing through increasing your earning potentials, that we can say is also giving you in turn the job satisfaction. So in the global economy, language skills are definitely an add-on the competitive side. Finally, what we can say is language learning is like, we have seen the science behind it, we have seen the benefits of it. So it says if you have the ability or if you have the mindset that I want to stand out of everyone and I want to, in this competitive life or professions, if one wants to stand out, then he has to develop the skills. And of course, learning skills is like we have a lifelong learners. So inexperienced individuals are like, they are not ready to have the different perspective or to understand others' perspective. So they lack this key life cycles life skills. And then not just it's not easy because to be a lifelong learner, you need to inculcate in yourself what is called as setting and achieving the goals. So this is done through a simple principle of having discipline. This discipline in turn will give you the adaptability. This adaptability is for having flexibility and able to solve problems through your reasoning and analyzing capabilities. This in turn will definitely give you the confidence because you are able to solve problems not just for yourself but for the community, for the global perspectives, and those are what are going to get into develop as called as leaders. So this confidence will definitely be achieved by mastering new abilities, and that's what we see in the next, that is the skilled individual, a person who is capable of decision making, understanding others, having empathy for others, having emotional attachment and detachment possible at the same time in the terms of EQ, and that's a skilled individual. Final thought. As we unlock our full potentials, what we understand is language learning improves not just the cognitive, but the major skill, that is the social communication. It's like, you have the celebration through your brain health having improved cognitive functions, which in turn gives you a better emotional intelligence. You're free from the egocentric to a person who is having social skills, having empathy for people, having the mindset to accept the perspective of others through their cultural understanding, broadening the global perspectives. That in turn shall lead you a career success by expanding your job opportunities, and in turns is what we see is a personal growth boosted out of your confidence and your adaptability. Thank you very much. What we see in today's or the takeaways in the today's presentation is unleash your potential. Untapped potential is the latent abilities. You have a dream. Everybody has a dream. Everybody wants to grow. But how do you grow? You have to take one step forward. You have to embrace the growth, seize opportunities for development. You have to have a building of discipline to achieve the goals. Once you set the goal, you have to achieve the goal, and you have to turn aspirations into tangible results. That's the realization potential, fulfill the dreams, and maximize capabilities. Thank you very much. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, ma'am, for the wonderful session and putting insightful thought forward on how using two language can add benefit to us. ICS is pleased to provide you all these research and development, integrated management system, QMS, EMS, and OHSAS, excellent in education management. I also made in Hindi, Gujarati, Marathi, and Telugu. Urja. Urja is a book written by Dr. Sundar Kataria for engineers. About the author, Dr. Sundar Kataria. This book is tell about the book is designed to help your engineer you a career of purpose, quality, and impact as an engineer. You have a natural advantage. Your mind is trained to analyze, solve, and improve. By applying this same skill to yourself, you can build a career that is meaningful, resilient, and valuable. Just a humanity has always received quality in it. Invention you too to strive for quality in your life and career, which a clean, clear vision, mission, and quality policy as your foundation. You have the tools you need to engineer your life with intention and purpose. Remember, as member of the quality species, we are wired to seek improvement and excellence in journey. It's just about achieving success. It about becoming the best version of yourself as a professional and as a person. Feedback form. Please register on our website www.satgunsang.org and log in, and please give your valuable feedback to us. Now we are officially closing to the Satgunsang. Thank you for being the part of Satgunsang. Have a nice day.